Much appreciate. You know, there is a incredible story out there. And, you know, I'm going to tell you this story, and I'm going to tell you, what are we learning from all these stories about what was done with the FBI, the intelligence services, what I just told you about Paul Ryan and Trey Gowdy, the unmasking of American citizens, just how thoroughly corrupt the federal government has become. Thoroughly corrupt and unmoored from the Constitution. People want an all-powerful central government. Now we have one. And many of the same people who want an all-powerful central government, which means an all-powerful president, then only support an all-powerful central government with an all-powerful president if it's the president they want. Otherwise, they want to remove a president that is not the president they want if they can't defeat that president with the Electoral College and at the ballot. And so that's what's going on. And then they go on and on about how this president's violating the Constitution. They don't even like the Constitution. They want to keep changing. Wow, that Electoral College, you know, that was created by slaveholders. The separation of powers, that was created by slaveholders. And, you know, the slaves and the slaveholders and you go on and on and on. And then they wave it around. Well, look at that Constitution. He's violating the Constitution. Well, I thought it was a useless document created by very immoral men. No, you don't understand. It's there to protect us. Tyranny knows no logic. Tyranny knows no consistency. And the left, their ideology is an ideology of tyranny. That's what it is. Now, this Iran deal, we should be so thankful the President of the United States scrapped it for so many reasons. But the deal itself was so corrupt that we're still learning about it. Members of Congress don't know all the facts. And we, the people, don't know all the facts. And that's one of the reasons you run this sort of thing through the treaty provision of the Constitution. So members of the Senate can get all the facts. So there aren't all these side deals and secret side deals and illegalities. What am I talking about now? So desperate was Barack Obama and John Kerry and their ilk, that regime, to prop up the Iranian regime. Think about this. So desperate were they that they were trying to figure out ways to get them U.S. dollars or euros because their currency's worth crap. They were trying to figure out ways to circumvent the very deal that they entered into that prevented them from giving any financial assistance to the Islamo-Nazi regime in Tehran. So the deal itself was a sellout, but it didn't sell out enough. And on numerous occasions, the Secretary of the Treasury, whose name you probably forgot, his name is Lew, L-E-W, Secretary Lew, and others in the administration from the State Department, represented to Congress that the Obama administration was not involved in working with the Iranian regime to assist them through our financial system, which they were desperate to do. That is, the Iranians. And so this report came out now by a committee of the Senate, and I want you to see how ABC News has the title of this report, Connor Finnegan, whoever the hell that is. Obama administration granted Iran secret license to access U.S. dollars, GOP report. So this committee in the United States Senate, which is controlled by the Republicans, issues this report, so they call it a Republican report. Can you remember them ever calling a report from a committee of Congress when the Democrats control one or both branches of Congress a Democrat report? Of course not. So here in part is what this ABC News has to say. The Obama administration quietly gave a special license to Iran to access the U.S. financial system despite U.S. sanctions and its own statements to the contrary, according to a new report by Senate Republicans. While the report stopped short of accusing the Obama administration of lying, the investigators who worked on the report said it was clear to them that top officials misled Congress and the American people, about the transactions. Quote, the Obama administration misled the American people and Congress because they were desperate to get a deal with Iran, said Senator Rob Portman, the GOP chairman of the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, who published the report. Let me tell you about this Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations. It has more power than any other committee in Congress, on the Senate side, at least. It has independent subpoena authority. They don't have to get it approved by the Senate or anything else. The committee, a majority, can just do it. Here's ABC News, granting the license was not illegal, but the new disclosure gives more ammunition to critics of President Obama, who say the Iran nuclear deal gave too much to that country's regime. How is it not illegal? How is it not illegal when the deal forbids it? Now, I read this report. It's a substantial report. I read it today. I'm going to talk about it at length on Levin TV. Not only did the Obama administration pressure at least 2 American banks to try and launder, that's the word, launder Iranian currency through our banks so they could have access to dollars. Not only did the Obama administration pressure 2 American banks, if not more, to do that, and they said no, by the way. They said, no. We'll get in trouble. That's unlawful. That's not the rules. They actually had a seminar overseas to try and teach the banks in other countries how to get around the sanctions provisions, how to get what they call sanction relief under the deal. The Obama administration was a special pleader for the Iranian regime, the terrorist regime. The Obama administration was putting political pressure on American banks to do that which they are forbidden from doing. The Obama administration went overseas to try and encourage foreign banks to launder, that's the word, it's not in the report, but trust me, you can read it, to launder this Iranian currency through euros and so forth, $5.7 billion. Turns out it was actually more. So let's get a little in the weeds. They were trying to get a specific license to make it possible for these 2 banks to launder all or part of this $5.7 billion. Then they tried to get a general license so you didn't have to keep coming back for a specific license. Both ultimately failed. Except the foreign banks, the European banks, did in fact launder some of the Iranian money, the currency. And you had Obama administration officials lying to Congress. I wonder where Trey Gowdy and Paul Ryan come down on this. I wonder where the hapless Richard Burr, the head of the Senate Intelligence Committee, comes down on this. Where the hell are the Republicans anyway? There's a handful of patriots up there who keep trying to get to the bottom of stuff. Where are they? Well, they're missing in action. So now what do we do about this? Well, thank goodness the President of the United States killed this deal. And, of course, he was attacked for it. But it was a courageous and proper thing what the President did. But here's what I would do again if I were in control of Congress on the Republican side. I would hold these officials who testified and lied in contempt. I would refer the contempts to the U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C., and I would ask the U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C. to investigate with a federal grand jury and, if appropriate, to charge these former Obama officials. None of them are ever charged. None of them are ever held to account. They lie through their teeth. They lied through their teeth on Obamacare. They lied through their teeth on DACA. They lied through their teeth on the IRS. They lied through their teeth on Fast and Furious. They just lied as a matter of course, as liberals do, as progressives do, because otherwise they can't get away with what they want to get away with. But so now we have this committee of Congress who's caught them red-handed. Fingerprints everywhere, DNA everywhere. But I doubt that McConnell and or Paul Ryan will do a damn thing about it other than wave it around. And in that sense, what the hell good is it? I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.